Yo, what's happening, y'all? It's your man Valentine, baby. Coming to you from On the Grind. It's your home edition, baby. Yo, man, it's Monday, 22nd, and people still marching, still outside, man, and we still going through this pandemic of racism. Every single day, there's something new, you know. I mean, the first thing, I think there's been an arrest in the Breonna Taylor's shooting. I think they might have arrested one dude. The other ones, they're still trying to get them or prosecute them or something. So we don't know. And Rayshard Brooks was laid to rest today. So rest in peace, my brother. And it's, sometimes I think we truly have to take a deep breath, man, and just to understand what it is that we're going through right now. Because each and every day, man, it's an emotional roller coaster that we go through. You go up and down with what you're feeling to, for black people, indigenous people, because I think today is also National Aboriginal Day. It's a holiday. It's not a holiday in Canada. Why, we don't know. And it's the same as why Martin Luther King Day is not a national holiday. And yeah, so it's unbelievable, man. And then, we love our nurses and doctors and everything else, but yet you hear that nurses and doctors were playing some sort of stupid game of guessing the alcohol level of certain indigenous people that was coming into the hospital. Listen, we love y'all, but that's just stupid. And for me to be, I want to be thanking the frontline workers and first responders, but that just makes me mad. How are you going to do that? You know what I mean? And then, you see, NASCAR trying to get they act together by taking down them Confederate flags. And yesterday, they gonna find a noose hung in my man's garage. The only black driver on the NASCAR circuit, Baba Wallace. So they find a noose. Somebody hung a noose in the brother's garage. And yet they can't find out who did it. I'm sorry, but you already know that if this happens, it had to be either one of the officials, one of the people that was walking through. Who knows if it's another, we don't know if it's another driver, but I don't believe it will be another driver. It might be a crewman that is just being ignorant. So, and they got lots of cameras, so I'm thinking they gonna find out who it is. Remember, lynching's been abolished, man. But yet, I know they found 3 people in LA that was hung. 3 brothers, as a matter of fact, that was hung in LA. So, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And we move to this little, if everyone remembers the 2 little toddlers that were, the little black kid and little white kid that was running towards each other and hugged each other and then shared their candy. Can you imagine that Trump and his cronies doctored this video to make it look like the little black kid was running away from the little white kid and calling and saying racist whatever remarks? Really? You know what? When you're born, you ain't a racist. So, racism taught. Remember that. And these types of teachings is why we're in this turmoil. You feel what I'm saying? And we need to get past that, yo. And YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, or whatever was on, should have stopped that right away. You can't let these propaganda issues things come up on these social media sites, man. Somehow that has to change. We have to stop that. You know what I mean? And that was the cutest of the video, man. But yet they trying to use it as propaganda. Unbelievable. That was the last straw. If that ain't the last straw for certain people, I don't know what is. Because all these fools who were planning on voting for Trump, you need to sit there and watch and listen to see what this man is doing. Because up in Canada, man, it's hard up here too. Because Jagmeet Singh, the only man of color in the House, and you got a bunch of racist Quebec MPs that you can see the systemic racism that's happening. You've got a white Speaker of the House, you got a bunch of white MPs, and trying to kick out the black man. You feel what I'm saying? You see the systemic racism that's being led into this whole thing. And yet they're saying that there's no systemic racism, right? If you believe that there's systemic racism, you raise your hand and say yes. You don't brush your brother off and say no. Because you believe that there is. And you know you're a racist if you don't support that. So, and I'm thinking there's a lot of black folks in Quebec. So where is this dude going with this? And they should apologize to Jagmeet Singh. So, man, I don't get it. You see, we need to start teaching, in schools and in BC across the country. And I know the education ministers, we know Ian Fleming's in Van City. So, Mr. Fleming, you need to start teaching or getting it into schools where you get them teaching from, I figure you have to put into schools where they teach from slavery to freedom, or to try to get to freedom, because somehow black folks or people of color still ain't free, or indigenous people still ain't free, because we still having a problem. People having a problem with this discussion because, I don't know, it must hurt their feelings to have this discussion. Because, listen, you figure, and even in Europe, in London, where they had Lloyd's of London, the biggest bank, I couldn't believe when I heard this one, where they paid out slave masters or slave owners for having slaves. Can you imagine that? And then now they're coming back with, yeah, we need to pay reparations. You know what? You need to pay reparations, but what's that going to do? Unless you're going to pay every black person, there must be trillions of dollars to be paid, because they just finished paying this. They just finished paying these people off in 2015 is what I heard. Imagine that. And now they're going to apologize to say, well, yeah, blah, 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 we sorry. You know what? And we going to pay reparations. You know what? Man, in the U.S., man, I don't know if there's any reparations being paid. And remember, when Emancipation Proclamation was signed up, every black person was supposed to get 40 acres and a mule. You see what I'm saying? And I know that most of the people who were supposed to get the 40 acres and a mule probably either died, and so they never had to pay that. So, come on, man. Reparations? They gonna need to see. Conversations need to be had, man. Hey, but if they want to pay, you pay every black person in Europe and some across North America. You know what I mean? If that's what it is. That's how reparations have to happen, right? You don't just pay $1,000. No, you pay millions of dollars to each person. That's what should be happening. And then I understand that everybody was jumping on the Juneteenth bandwagon. And I mean, what happened last year? I don't believe that anybody jumped on the Juneteenth bandwagon last year, nor the year before, nor the year before, nor the year before, unless you knew about Juneteenth. That's when you on the bandwagon. But everybody right now on the bandwagon, all the TV stations, they showing it all up. But yet, last year, nobody was on the Juneteenth bandwagon. I mean, what is the deal? It's because of the George Floyd thing, that the death, the murder, and the Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor. You see, we shouldn't need that to be able to have this talk about the massacre that happened in Tulsa. We shouldn't need any of this stuff. You feel what I'm saying? We should be having this conversation because black people are targeted. Black people running for their lives. So y'all need to get it together and start talking. Sit down at the table. Equality is what we up there for. So I mean, come on, man. We shouldn't have to make, none of these things should have to happen before we sit at the table to talk about it. So I hope next year when Juneteenth come around that we talking about it like we are right now. And you put it all on every channel. You feel what I'm saying? So Mr. Fleming, you know, you need to get black history in schools starting in September when everybody go back. Justin Trudeau, you need to support Mr. Singh in the House. And maybe get rid of them racist MPs that's all in there from Quebec. It doesn't matter if there's no NDP out in Quebec. You should treat everybody equally and understand that racism is a systemic problem across Canada and in the RCMP. Man, and and for you nurses and doctors, whoever doing that thing, that racist thing in the hospitals, man, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to get out. You need to give up your job or something. Go do something else. Man, I just gotta take a breath, man. I think I'm done. This is just unbelievable. But we gotta keep on fighting. Man, we fighting for freedom, man. Keep fighting, y'all. Keep marching. Keep doing your thing. And don't ever give up. Resilience of the black people will always stand up. You feel what I'm saying? So y'all keep marching. Keep doing your thing. But remember, we're going through a pandemic. And make sure you wear your mask. Social distance. Physical distance. And stay safe. You feel what I'm saying? Man, it's your man Valentine, baby. Everything is your time to shine. You need to get on the ground with your man Valentine.